Was really low when we got here. Over the last 2 hours, it's more than doubled, and it is very warm with the sunshine on our skins, and it's absolutely amazing as we've been bringing you this live broadcast at the official launch of the 14th annual South African National Parks Week. Now, when it comes to national parks around the country, many of the communities that border the parks haven't benefited from actually living so close. But that has all changed because of a dedicated social fund that has been put together by SANParks to help develop those communities. To tell us a little bit more about that initiative and what some of their achievements are, we've got the HOD of Socio-Economic Transformation for SANParks, Xola Mkefe. Good morning and welcome to Morning Live.
Good morning. Thank you very much.
Tell us a little bit about the Social Legacy Fund and what SANParks have been able to do through the Social Legacy Program.
Thank you so much. Yes, SANParks takes the communities that are neighboring the national parks very seriously, and we have tried since 2013 to actually put aside a fund that will directly benefit these communities. So we take 1% of our tourism levy and we put that aside. Up to now, in the past 6 years, we've spent about just over 38 million rands on doing different projects in communities, specifically focused on education in the past few years, where we develop science and build science laboratories in the schools. We also build mobile laboratories and ablution facilities according to the needs that the schools really apply to us. So we respond to those needs. So we are so happy that even this morning we will launching one of the science labs here in Swellendam, which SANParks has refurbished. And together with that, we will be launching the total of the other 7, which we have built in the different provinces across the country.
That's fantastic. We actually did go and visit the Swellendam secondary school where you guys have put in a new science lab, and they were speaking about the ability of the learners now to actually understand the chemicals and have those at their disposal and the correct apparatus to actually bring science alive, and that's something that's really important. Would you say that the contribution made since 2012, since the beginning and the inception of this program, has been a positive one for the communities?
Absolutely, it has been very positive. Some of the poorest schools in Limpopo, we had a student that had 99% pass in matric on her science studies, and we take pride in that because there was no laboratory in that school until a few years ago when SANParks really came on board. It is our dream that one day great parks like Kruger National Park and even this park, Bondebok, can be headed by a child from the local community. You know, they must not just see the big buses of tourists coming into the park and not experience the direct benefits that the park brings. We would really like them to understand the value of a live rhino that will even help us to curb some of the scourge in terms of poaching that is happening in and around the parks. So that's the main aim of this transformation program, and we are beginning to really see results. We've just, if I may mention, taken about 200 young people from around Kruger National Parks. Some are children of the claimants in the park, some are just children of the neighborhood. For 2 years, they're going to be trained on different skills, and we will place them directly in national parks on return.
Do you find that because of the community involvement now for the last 6 years, that the communities feel more of a vested interest in the parks and to actually looking after them, and you maybe even get tip-offs when it comes to poaching from them?
Yes, directly. The communities are beginning to feel ownership of the animals that are inside the national park. And this is our dream, that the communities begin to feel that if you touch those animals, you are actually touching my own asset. You know, we are pushing, as the CE said earlier, what we call a biodiversity economy. And they are beginning to see the direct benefits that are yielding from the biodiversity economy that we have. And with the social legacy program, we're looking beyond just infrastructure. We are even now coming in the next year, including bursary schemes to make sure that the kids from around our parks who can afford bursaries, they can be afforded such opportunities.
You mentioned children a lot through the Legacy Fund that helps schools that surround and border different national parks in South Africa. You guys have got another program called Kids in Parks. Explain what that is.
Oh, yes. We take about 5,000 school kids through our national parks every year. So we select about 10 schools that bring about 500 kids that we take through our programs. This is in partnership with the Department of Basic Education, where we really want to expose young kids to careers in the park, to opportunities in the park, so that they can take interest. I don't believe I would be standing here now as the head of a department of socio-economic transformation in SANParks, and I've been in this sector for more than 20 years. I don't think it would have happened if not a small group of pathfinders, 9-year-olds, did not take me out into the open nature, and I was exposed to nature at that early age. And now today I find myself here. So this is the same love that we want to install on the kids from our neighboring communities, so that as they grow up, they get exposed to nature.
And it's also an important reason why we have SANParks Week, to ensure that families across the country are able to actually come into the parks and expose their children to that.
Absolutely. You know, the gate fee should not be an impediment from people to come into the park. We have this week, which includes a weekend, this particular week, where the communities, where South Africans will come into national parks for free. But over and above that, throughout the year, we've got wild cards, which are means of discounting people coming into the park. In some parks like Bondebok National Park, we even have community cards where locals can actually have that card as long as they show that they are ratepayers within this community, and get huge discounts to come into our parks.
SANParks really making it a viable option for all South Africans to enjoy the rich heritage and the biodiversity that our country has to offer. Thank you very much. That's Xola Mkefe, SANParks HOD of Socio-Economic Transformation, chatting to us. We still got more coming your way from the Bondebok National Park as we officially hashtag Live Your Wild as we launch the 2019 SANParks Week. For now though, it's back to the studio in Auckland Park.